Good morning, everyone. We are back for the start of day 3. And, hi. We are going to be starting Tribal Council here shortly to kick off our day. The nuPink tribe is now filing in behind me, so they can come on in to their Tribal Council seats. Yep. Good morning. For those just joining us, this is the nuPink Tribal Council. You're looking at new Palmyra, having lost the immunity challenge really late last night. They are starting their day with a Tribal Council.
Pause for technical difficulties. Don't want to set anyone on fire while you're answering a question.
Or any of production on fire.
All right, good morning, new Palmyra. How are you?
Good. We had a nice night. It was a nice night, yeah. Except it was freezing.
Yeah.
It was a lot cooler last night. I'd like to see what the temperature was last night. The night before.
Caitlin, tell me about last night. Kind of a weird scenario. You swap, you don't get to spend a lot of time with people, you lose a challenge, and you have the specter of tribal kind of looming over you. Did you sleep at all? Do you stay up talking? Like, what happens at camp? Describe it for me.
Like, we got back to camp, and then I think it kind of like, with all these new people going on, like, obviously, like, people are breaking off talking, like, everybody sees it. At least for me, like, I know that I don't have the strongest arms, so I kind of put Rob in a tough position with the vote, and I hope that's not something that comes into consideration because I've done really well in all the other challenges. But I do feel like I got a lot of sleep. Like we were saying, like we were going to be the early morning people, and then we slept in the latest. So.
Are you worried about how much you slept?
Exactly.
Okay.
No comment.
No comment. All right. John, I feel like this is also an interesting game because, unlike Survivor, you're not on different islands. You do spend a lot of time together on that challenge field, so even though it is 3 blues, 4 greens, and a pink, on this new tribe, you've talked a lot. I mean, I even saw you, John, and you weren't the only one doing it, but, offering congratulations to other tribes and stuff during the challenges. Talk to me about that, you have some bonds already just from that, and so are you using that, what you did, on the challenge field yesterday?
I mean, I'm always a pretty short-ported person. I like to cheer people on, anyone, like even if I'm just when I used to run like cross-country, I would be there cheering everyone on at the finish line who looked like they might need it, or congratulating someone that beat me in a race. So I wasn't like purposely trying to bond, and I think I did it fairly with everyone, so I don't feel like I had like certain bonds with certain people on other tribes. But the tribe swap definitely threw me. It is the most scared I've been in this entire game, and I do not like this at all. I love all these people, just how like the numbers played out. Like you mentioned, there was 3 blue, 4 green, and 1 pink. So we were lower numbers, and then low on guys, and these are some awesome girls. So it's just I think I'm in the bottom rung of any totem pole that I can count in this group right now. But it doesn't mean I don't feel good about relationships. Just looking at it from that, it's a scary thought.
Okay, Steph, John seems a little worried just about the makeup of the tribe, at least. Do you feel like there's any merit to that? Do you feel like it's going to go down tribal lines, 4 green, 3 blue, a pink? Do you think it's going to stay like that? Or John mentioned that there's more girls on the tribe than there are guys. Is that something that you guys are looking into? How do you feel like you're approaching this vote?
Well, I feel like in the game, the interactions that we've had with all other 2 tribes, like they've been pleasant, they've been friendly. We've had interactions in which, I think that that it's been positive. So I feel like when we got swapped, I'm hoping that those would carry through. We also, it's not about it's about the vibes that you get from the people that you're working with, right? And the commitment that you've made with those people that you've been working with, right? Or that you are working with. So I feel like that's what's important, and that's it.
Okay. Rob, talk to me about kind of, Green's somewhat fall from grace. I mean, you won 9 out of the first 11 challenges. You guys, 7 people left in the game going into the final 16. You get swapped onto a tribe, and then one of your teammates is sent to exile, and you find yourself here at Tribal Council now, technically in the minority. There's 3 of you, there's 7 total. The other 4 could easily band up together. I mean, how do you approach that as someone who, has kind of been on top for a lot of the game?
Well, I think whenever you start with 3 tribes and then you merge into 2, it's virtually impossible, even if you do win consistently, to have a majority on a swapped tribe. And so, I mean, we got 4 with Chris without exile, and the other tribe has 3. So it's really kind of a whole new game. So that's kind of how I'm approaching it. There's people that I know, people that I don't know, trying to, bond with people that I don't know, and kind of just, it's a new game, we're a new tribe. What's in the past is the past, and kind of look forward.
And so what kind of bonds are you trying to make with these new people? I mean, what are you offering to say, hey, we could go forward? Are you talking about merge? Are you talking about, just this first vote? Like, what kind of things get you further in this game?
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously you got to take every vote one by one. So the first thing is, what are we going to do, today? But yeah, I mean, obviously merge is sometime around the corner. So that's certainly something to consider whenever you're trying to choose who to stick with and who to vote out. So it's just kind of a holistic thing. It's just, it's a whole new game. We have a new agenda, new kind of a mission. So just kind of approaching it in that way.
Awesome. Katie, you and I have talked a lot. That's no secret. What does it feel like? I mean, you're the odd person out. You feel like you're in a good spot between 2 groups of 3? Do you feel like they could band up against you and you're the odd person out? Like, how do you feel after the first night here with them?
Last night we walked back to the camp and I got a little tour of where the raspberries were, and this is the fire, and it was all good, and I was really just enjoying my time with these people, and I think I had some conversations and connections, and everything I said was true, and I hope that my plan is to stick with that and go from there. So I'm feeling nervous, very nervous, and I'm being real, so I just want everyone to know that.
CR, on the flip side, we have not talked a lot. And part of Survivor, you can have as many loyalties as you want, but they're tested when you vote. And Green only voted together once. If I recall, I believe it was a unanimous vote. So how do you, come into this swap tribe and feel trust with people that you were with before?
I think, we had a lot of downtime in between challenges. We spent a lot of time just getting to know each other personally, and of course that does bond you in a way, but like you said, not voting together sometimes can kind of test those boundaries. When you do get a chance to vote, you kind of maybe don't feel quite as loyal as before, and maybe you try to make things work with someone new. The options are open. Exactly what Rob said, like, going forward, this is like new version, so hopefully we'll all continue to work well with the people that we want to work with.
Okay. Sarah, I mean, it sounds like things are pretty flexible. It doesn't seem like things are super, strict to tribal lines. I mean, I don't think it's any secret that you're a pretty personable person. How do you approach like a new group like this?
I wasn't feeling like at the top of my personality game last night, so I was doing just a lot of maybe more. I was probably a little quieter than I normally am, right? Yeah. So I was just doing a lot more listening, but yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's getting to know people, getting to ask them questions, talk to them, find out about their families and their lives, and then it helps shape. I don't know, maybe it doesn't help shape future votes, but it's just making the connections of the people. Long term, that's to your advantage as well. But for me, it's just genuine. I want to know about the people I'm around and get to know them and where they're from. So there was a lot of that, and that's what I like to do.
Nice. Well, it sounds like it's going to be pretty fluid right now. Does anyone else have anything left to say before we vote? No? All right, John, you're up.
All right, and with that, John from nuPink is the first one to go ahead and go on down the voting lane. So as always, we're just going to step away and discuss what we've just heard. Michael and Lana, I will be addressing that momentarily. Just gotta get on down the way here. Lots to tell you guys this morning, lots to discuss. Oh, where to begin? Okay, so, let's see. So let's start with last night, because that affected the makeup of the tribe that is here today. So last night, Green won the immunity challenge, and when they huddled, they chose collectively Chris from New Green / Old Green to go to exile. Apparently, all of the original Blue tribe members on that tribe were pushing for it. So then the Green members, the Old Green on New Green, which was Alan and Damien, also pushed for it because they wanted to protect him, not really thinking about the implications of, okay, one Green is gone, so now suddenly the numbers are not nearly as good for Old Green, leaving Rob, Ciara, and Caitlin in a little bit more vulnerable of a position. So that was not necessarily maybe the best idea, but that's what they did. So now, of course, last night it was looking like it could definitely have been either Ciara, Rob, or Caitlin. Things have shifted in the night, because in the night, as you heard from Sarah, Sarah did not talk as much as she had in past nights. That was one thing she was known for, was like talking a lot in her tribe scenario and her tribe situation. John actually ended up being the one that was talking a ton, and it was a noticeable amount to these to his fellow tribes people. So John is potentially one of the options for this vote, specifically because he was just so loud as everyone was trying to kind of sleep. There is also, and that charge, I believe, is being led by the girls in the matching bandanas. So it is definitely possible that all of the girls are working together. I do not know if the bandana tying was a coincidence or just kind of a little subtle sign, but that is that. Let's see, Kirk says, wouldn't it make sense for Katie to help Green in order to help Alan? So Alan and Katie are playing very different games at this point. Alan has been very concerned about Katie the whole way through. In a lot of his confessionals, he really just wants to talk about Katie, wants to, worried about her, like wondering what's going on with her. Katie playing her own damn game. Like Katie has been like talking about her husband a lot in the with her tribe mates, and it was a strategy because she was hoping that had she talked about it enough that no one would suspect her husband that she keeps bringing up is actually here. But I don't think, obviously, I think if Katie, can meet up with Alan and, play with Alan, of course, that's the overall plan, but I don't think Katie is banking on that as her whole strategy, which is very smart, because you just have no guarantee that either of them is going to make it through. So if Katie was counting on Ellen to make it all the way through and that was her only game plan for this, well then, you know, and he got voted out, well then, I don't know. So do you not think they won't work together? I think they would work together if they make it into another situation where they are together, but I think she's just not putting all her eggs in one basket, and she's not focusing on like that connection as like a big piece of her game. I think she's playing the game with the hand she is dealt now, and you know, down the road if she gets that kind of asset in Alan, well then that's great. There is another name floating around as well. Rob is another person that is susceptible right now. I believe simply to the fact that he is one of the old green members. For me, that would be devastating, because for those of you that tuned in late last night to watch the immunity challenge, Rob was sitting there with two bags of weight that he carried for a really long time, and he gave his all and ended up collapsing with the effort at the end of the challenge. So for him to put forth that great effort and then go out just makes me sad. So I'm just, from that perspective, I'm really hoping it's not him. But I don't know. But I do believe the girls are fairly safe, although I have been very wrong about predictions, including yesterday's last one. Alejandro going home really shocked me. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see. So let's see, are we okay? So I'm being called back, so we are gonna come back on down to tribal council. I believe the last person might be voting right now. Yes, last person voting, so we're just gonna come on back into camp and see what happens.
All right, I'll go grab the votes.
All right, off goes Cameron. And now we wait. nuPink has all cast their votes. They are just waiting on the results now. Everyone waiting in silence for the votes to be returned. And we will be getting the vote result very shortly. Cameron coming back down the way.
Alrighty. Anybody has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play one? Now would be the time to do so. Nope. Alright. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. I will now read the votes. First vote, Rob. Second vote, John. 1 vote Rob, 1 vote John. Third vote, John. Fourth vote, John. 5th vote, and the 9th person voted out of Can You Survive 2021. John, that's 4, that's enough. I'm sorry, please bring your torch.
Sorry, John.
My mom could be so mad at all you. When she watched her.
John? The tribe is spoken.
Thank you. Good luck, everyone.
All right, so we will just follow John on down the lane here to get some last words with him. First casualty of the day for day 3. All right, we're just gonna keep walking a little closer to the truck. Yep, we'll go all the way kind of near the truck. All right, and you're welcome to drop your stuff just inside if you don't want it wet in the grass, and then you can grab it once we're all set here. Oh, we going back to Blue Tribe strong for this interview.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. So we're just gonna have you stand right over here. So this is your time for any things you'd like to share with us, with the viewers, whatever's on your mind, and then I'll ask you a couple of questions as well.
I mean, I knew I was in trouble.
Keep in mind, I think, is the other tribe still there right now?
Yes.
Okay, so we have to like subdue it a little bit.
Should I
I'm
put
sorry.
these in front of the truck?
What's up? Yeah, we can go in front of the truck. All right.
I just talk kind of loud. I just don't want to.
You? No. I'm gonna go this way. It seems less.
Sorry.
No.
I'm gonna have trouble on this one.
No, you're fine. Let's keep on walking down the way. We have a long road that I have walked many times. So. All right, so maybe in this like down patch right here, where it's a little more flat and like level. All right. I think that's good. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The floor is yours, John.
I mean, the moment we switched into those tribes, the cards just didn't fall into my play. It was, like I said in there, I was the low man on every single totem pole that we can choose. I thought we had a decent plan going on, but I had a very strong feeling that the girls, there are some powerful, good girls at this game, and I strongly suspected. Rob and I had a little chat about we weren't going to work together. We both knew we were on opposite sides, but I mean, we were only 2 guys here today with 6 girls. We had to just protect each other for a couple, just try to keep each other's names off the block. And man, he's the only one I don't blame because I wrote his name down, and that's only because the 3 that I thought I was working with, which were the 2 I came with from Blue and Katie from Pink, on the way here told me they switched from Caitlin to Rob, and I tried to go the other way, and I mean, it was a play either way. Apparently I was the only one writing down whatever name, so I can't believe how hard they fought, especially Sarah really was a little disrespectful talking to me on the way here. So I knew I was in trouble, and but fighting it was only going to make it worse if I was personally in trouble, so I was just really hoping they just want Rob out, and I just got to fight hard for the next immunities. But I knew how she was talking after we've been together all these days, that I knew something was wrong. But the best case scenario at that point was that it was going to be Rob to go, and at least I would still have another challenge to fight for. So no fault on Rob. We both had an agreement, and we both broke it to do what we had to do with those strong women. Out of this Pink tribe, I would love to see him, and when Chris comes back, survive because I felt really loyal to those girls. But my true loyalties from the beginning of this very game has been to blue, and particularly Justin, Albie, and Barry. I bonded really well with all 4 of them. And when we were going to swap evenly, I was like, oh, cards are in my favor. At least we'll be hopefully a 2 and 2, or I can be in a 3. When I saw all 3 of them were going to leave me, it sucked. I tried what I could. I talked to everyone today and tried to make those connections. But I'm excited to watch, though, and find out, look back and find out if there was something I did wrong. But at this moment, it just seems like one of those game things that happen, which I love this game. Like, I love the unpredictability of it. But there are some times where I just don't think that you stand a fighting chance. And I think I was in that corner today. But I'm excited to see what anyone else thinks, or watch back and just see, oh, I was sketchy at this. I didn't think I was sketchy at anything. I think I had really great conversations with everyone at camp. We were very open and honest. So yeah, I felt. I mean, I do can be in a game of deceit, but the honesty was we weren't playing a lot. We had a talk of between all when like the 3 and the 3 of because Chris wasn't there of that Katie would most likely be the swing vote, and we understood that each other were just that we were gonna be picking a name, and we were just hoping would join each of our sides, and we just understood that. So it wasn't like we were like telling them to write down a name, and we were all doing we understood it was gonna be opposite sides. I just personally do not think that out of the options that they had to get off of our side, that they are in a good suit for the next immunity challenges. I mean, it's the first one of a couple there's got to be before this merge. So, and the other team is stacked. I mean, the other team is stacked. We saw it last night. We discussed it, that in a lot of ways the other team was going to be stacked against us. So I wouldn't have been, I guess, so now I'm thinking on it and it's just happened. I am mostly surprised that it happened so soon. I was worried for the day, but I was worried when then they were trying to say Rob. I think Rob's done very well all day. We discussed that Ciara has done amazing. We've seen each other perform in this whole time. There's just been two who have done very well, and I did think I did very well in the challenges compared to some others that I think at least at the beginning. So at least our tribe would not be seeing tribal all day. And then if they were, I wouldn't have been a tribe if I was going to be the option for a couple more tribals when they thought maybe a merge was going to come next or in a couple. But I am surprised that they got rid of me so early on. So far, a lot of these challenges have been really great for these long legs. Me and Albie have been able to do 4 steps over everyone else in a race or a balance beam type of situation. So I don't know. I thought there was a lot that I brought to the table, and I am very surprised that I am out this early. I'm not at all surprised though that those girls had bonded, and I can only imagine that Rob, now that I see that if he was on that, I imagine that he felt the same I did. I can't imagine, after a talk, I imagine they told him last minute, switch, and we both maybe were distressed, but I could watch back and maybe he orchestrated this whole thing. I don't know. And then I'm going to look so foolish here. Because we hadn't talked a whole ton of game. We just recognized, we said, we're on a totem pole here. Let's just keep each other's names out of the group. So
yeah,
I did try to honor that. I wholly meant it when I said it to him, and I was devastated when I wrote down his name, and I thought it would be him going. I was so surprised to see that my blues turned on me, but they weren't really my blues. I could tell when they were talking to other people that they were so excited for this switch up. My blues are those three gentlemen I named earlier.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing all your thoughts. Obviously, you've been doing a lot of reflecting as you stand here, kind of in the way things shook out. Why don't you go ahead and reflect for me on kind of what was your favorite moment or favorite experience of this whole game for you?
My favorite experience was meeting a lot of people, meeting the people that I've met and I've gotten really close with. Again, those 3 guys that I mentioned, being on that tribe. It was really cool to see. And you watch a lot of shows like this on TV or other things, and it's often just a one person in each little category, maybe the token person from the LGBT community. And it was so nice to be on a tribe in the beginning, that I wasn't alone in that minority. It was just nice to bond about those things and be like, wow. And I would have loved to see. I'd love to see that go to the end. And I didn't really get a chance to talk to other tribes about like that specific thing, but just seeing a nice diversity in that was really cool. Mm-hmm. And that was one reason why some people I really bonded with, but others were just great. Ciara, I really enjoyed. She has done amazing, and we had a nice couple little moments like throughout challenges where we could be like, hey, I'd love to work with you sometime. But I mean, she's playing the game, and if she got into a Strong Girls Alliance, I'm not faulting her. I'm not faulting the other side. Like I am upset though with the two that came from me, because I also know that our blues and our pinks fought for us yesterday, and that's why Chris went to exile. That's another big thing. So they're going to be very upset, and I don't think that they're going to handle that well when they see. Cause I mean, over there clearly that must have been the 3 blues, all guys, the 2 pinks, 1 guy, 1 girl. And those guys have to see that those girls banded together and got me out after they fought for us 4 to stay, because us 4 were all together, not there. But yeah, my favorite part was just meeting a lot of people, and everyone's been great. We're all playing their own game. I'm not leaving saying I don't like anyone. Because in a game, I just see who turned on me and who didn't, and
yes,
I really enjoyed meeting people and just living in this experience. This has been an amazing natural experience. It's been so cool. We had a tarp. We made a tent, a cool campfire. I didn't sleep under the tarp any of the nights. I slept in the open grass with bugs and snakes and things next to a campfire that was beautiful under these stars, and huddled up in, I think it was 40, 50 degrees some nights.
Yeah.
Raining sometimes. We wake up with dew, but it was just the most natural experience that I have lived for. So I'm so thankful that I was able to be a part of this and experience this beautiful state and this park.
Yeah, definitely. Lots to be proud of. You made it all the way to day 3. You got to live in the outdoors, which I know was a big goal of yours coming out here. As we wrap up, I would just love for you to tell all the viewers once more about the charity you are playing for. Give them shout out.
Yeah, Food for Life Global. They are an organization that feeds communities where astounding rates of starvation kill people every day, every week. But they not only feed them, they supply the means to allow them to grow their own food. So if an area is good with something such as rice and beans, like that is such a sustainable, healthy meal. And while it might not sound the most exquisite, you can live off rice and beans for your entire life and have perfect health. Like, so a community such that didn't have maybe the means to start planting that kind of farm, this will go in there, and it will give them not only the means to eat a good meal, but to sustain that for that community's potential entire life if they can keep it going, and they teach them the skills to maybe farm that area. It is extremely wonderful, and as sustainable food is, it is all vegan, and that is also something I'm a huge supporter of, plant-based lifestyles for the environment's sake. It's needed for sustainability. So they are a great charity. But every charity awesome. I've heard in this whole place has been great. There's never been one I've been like, oh, that one's the bottom. Every charity here is wonderful, but I do have a special place, that little vegan connection with Food for Life Global.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, John.
Thank you.
And congratulations again for making it all the way to day 3. I'm going to leave you in some of the other crew's hands and live stream. You're going to come on down with me.
Thank
you. Okay, so we have just heard final words from John. Sounds like he was kind of giving us the reasons why he was, voted out. He clearly did not make connections with the girls on blue that he ended up swapping with, Sarah and Steph. So, that can, if you don't have strong connections with everyone on your tribe, there's always the risk that you're going to swap with those you don't have good connections with. I also feel like he was kind of saying his own obituary a little bit in the TC itself, you know, talking about all the reasons why it would make sense to vote him out and why he was, you know, not a part of any of the groups, and how strong the women were, which hell yeah they are. So just kind of an interesting way to go out. But we have more action coming up for you. We have another immunity challenge that is being set up, so stick around, keep those notifications on, and we will be back at just as soon as the next challenge is due to start. First challenge of day 3. So thanks for tuning in, and lots of action today.